Sometimes I feel like when you're in the right place, God kind of just makes it flow for you really easily. So like I didn't feel like I was swimming upstream. Like I felt like it was just like, oh, here, okay. Right around the time that I graduated, there was a good scene happening in the area where I was at. And there was like a collective of us. It's actually a music studio. There were two studios and then an art gallery attached. And then we also had like editing studios for the video guys. So we would like book a lot of artists, like music artists, to come perform. There's a famous venue called Toad's Place. And we would like book artists to come there and then they would record in the studio after. But I used to do my art shows there. Like it was just a nice place, a good starting point, because it was like family vibes, like everybody was doing their own creative stuff. And that was the first time I was ever like exposed to like that many different creative people like on a consistent basis, just creating all the time. And we all ended up kind of branching off and doing like a lot of cool stuff. So it's really cool to see like how one collective like effort or energy could like kind of snowball into like all these different careers and stuff. We were so young, we had no idea like what, would transpire or whatever. It was like really just because we all just love making art in whatever form. But yeah, that kind of gave me my first push to actually show my work publicly. That's when I had like my first art show, sold that out. Then I did some shows in New York, painted at, there used to be a nightclub called Whip in Greenhouse. I painted there, had some pieces there, then gone in some galleries in the city, and then was kind of just like off to the races from there. I think sometimes I feel like when you're in the right place, God kind of just makes it flow for you really easily. So like I didn't feel like I was swimming upstream. Like I felt like it was just like, oh, here, okay. So and then I'm like, okay, well, it's happening like in a way that I feel like this is what's supposed to happen. So then yeah, I just kind of just really just there was no plan B after that, just like, okay, this is what I'm doing. So and I couldn't be happier because at the time it was like you would maybe doubt that you could actually make a career of this, or that it's a lot of years of just believing in yourself while everyone tells you either you can't do it or you're crazy or whatever. And then it's you have to really love it, like and really believe in yourself and really see it for yourself. And then finally when it does pay off, it feels really good. So yeah, and then it's just about like now pushing your art and elevating and telling your story and telling your truth like through your art, I think, like, and evolving over your lifetime as we all do. But it's cool as an artist to be able to look back and see like my work then and how it's kind of grown and progressed and changed forms. And now I'm like doing a lot of digital stuff, which back then I used to just shoot music videos and do like CGI stuff just to like kind of pay the bills 12, 13 years ago. So I guess that all like in its own way now contributed to what I'm doing now. I had no idea that was going to do that, but I'm glad it did. And I think for me, like someone who kind of like, I don't know, has like some sort of ADD or whatever, that's like, I always want to like take my art and put it into whatever medium I can. Not always just canvas, but not always just digital, but like whether that's like furniture design or like clothing design or whatever it is, it's just like another way to show the artwork in this like kind of world that I created. But yeah.
You said you were doing music videos first. It wasn't initially like.
Well, I was painting.
Okay.
I was just also doing like, cause like I said, I was in the music studio, so they needed people to do the special effects and like the editing and stuff, and I like learned how to do it. So that was just another thing I used to do. And then like at some point, the painting took off, so I didn't really have to do that anymore. So I kind of just like fell off from doing that stuff, but I still knew how. And then later, like 2018, when I started getting into like virtual reality and making metaverses and stuff like that, and kind of translating my pieces into like virtual worlds. All this background that I had before and like green screening and stuff helps a lot. So yeah, contributed.
Awesome. When you first started, were you like, do you remember like what the scene was like?
Well, I was out here first,
Okay.
more mixed up in like the music scene even.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
But
than the art scene. And then, but there were a select few people that like I still know today that like I met back then. Like a couple of them we were talking about earlier. And yeah, those are still some of my close friends too, like people who I met through whatever, channels of either art or music. But I would say it was like more, I mean, we just didn't know how like big everybody was gonna get, Like that back then it was like, I don't even want to name drop or do all that, but like, yeah, it was like people who are really big now, but like a room, like only 30 people came to the concert, but like now they're huge. You know what I mean? So it's just cool to see that. Like, it's cool to see that people that believed in themselves just kind of blindly as young kids, and then like now 10 years later, like really doing really well. So that's satisfying, because if you've never seen anyone do that before yourself, like it's really just you're really just going off of faith, like blind faith. So